Okay, Lynsey, recording is on and back to you.
Okay, there we go. Accept.
Perfect.
Oh, it went ahead. Yikes. Okay, well, I'll just go ahead and jump in. Ignore this one. I don't know how to get back to the old one, but thanks so much for having me, David. This is awesome. I love getting to talk to new startup companies. I think that's probably my favorite. There's so much excitement and so much just opportunity that can come when you are new, getting started, just getting launched, stuff like that. So super excited to be here. Like you said, I've been on every aspect of the direct sales industry, which is very, very true. I've been a customer, of course. I've been a hostess. I've been a consultant. I've worked in the shipping department of a direct sales company. So I was there for like order processing. I worked in the customer service side of that same company. I have been a national sales director. I have also been a corporate trainer. And then now I'm into coaching, and like Party Plan Divas is, that's working with companies and working one-on-one with the consultants. So this industry is where my heart lies. I mean, I walked away from a full paid scholarship to college to go into direct sales because I saw the opportunity.
Wow.
Yes, I think my dad is still pouting that we're not, alumni at Florida State, but he is a business owner himself, and my mom was, we just didn't do it the traditional route. But I love this industry because there's so much opportunity, and there is so much, like that image we just talked about. There's nothing that holds you back except you. It's only you that gets in your way sometimes. So find. Oops.
Lost your audio there for a second. I don't know if it was buffering.
Okay.
So you're back.
Okay. But so tonight I wanted to talk about how to find your people, how to find your founding members, and how to grow from there. Because when you're just getting started, or even, when you're in kind of those first few months, maybe the first year of launching a direct sales company, that founding core group of people is what can really make all of the difference. And it's really interesting, David. I kept laughing as you were kind of introducing, because you made some of the points that I'm going to make as well. Because it's making sure that they're hungry and that they have that relationship with you as the owner of the company, and so on and so forth. What I liked about this image, and the reason why I put it here, is because I want you to think, you guys are in red. You're that main company. You are the business owners, and you need to have a relationship with those founding members. But notice that, like in this image, there's only 3 of them. The thing in your example, like you have 400 and it whittles down and it becomes 6. Well, don't be defeated by that. A lot of companies have started with less than 10. In fact, most of the major, huge companies now that have astronomical numbers started with less than 10 founding members. So finding those original 10, so to speak, or whatever your number is going to be, is critical in success long term. And then letting them again kind of build and grow underneath them. But so don't always focus on needing those 400 necessarily. The good news to having 400 is probably that it did whittle it down, because when you really get started, you don't necessarily want it to be a free-for-all. You want to qualify and make sure that the people that you have at the very, very top are the ones that are dedicated and want to be at the very, very top. So let me see if I can figure out how to. All right, good deal. So let me see if I can move. I got a couple things on my screen here that are getting in my way. Hold on 2 seconds.
While you're looking for that, I just want to mention there's all of you should see 3 green circles at the top of your screen. The middle one is a chat. If you want to ask questions via chat, click on that button and type in your chat. I'll field the questions. We have a small group tonight, so I don't think we're going to need to do that, Lynsey. So I think we can probably just take the questions if it's all right with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And please don't feel like you have to wait until the end. Like that was one thing that I meant to put in here. I'm very laid back. I'm a coach, I'm a trainer, I'm a, whatever, but I'm totally laid back. If I go flying through something, I've got somebody wanting to come in though.
Yeah, let them in.
Okay. All right. Yes, so I'm super laid back. If you guys have a question, don't try to wait until the end, because if you're anything like me, I always hated when they said wait until the end for questions, because by then I had forgotten my question. So yes, certainly use again that little chat box there. So so when you're talking about qualifying those founding members, the first thing, like David said, they got to be hungry, and I say they got to be figuratively and literally hungry. And what I mean by that is they've got to want and have a reason why they want to be in this business. Yes, there are more things than money. There is personal growth that comes from it. There's leadership growth. There's sometimes it's just a matter of getting out of the house. There's having something that feels like it's yours. Like there's all kinds of reasons why people join direct sales. But let's be honest, making money is a huge part of that. And so you want them to want that. You want them to want to better themselves financially, better their future financially, those type of things. So you want them to want that income, because ultimately, even though there's all these other great things about business, sorry, but it kind of boils down to money. Money is what, is going to keep the business going. So you need them to want to be selling that product, to want to be recruiting parties and new recruits and stuff like that to grow. So finding people who want and have that desire. When you end up with people who don't really need it, then it becomes more of a hobby. And while there is certainly a place for hobbyists in the direct sales industry, we want the hobbyists, we want the full-timers, we want the part-timers, we even want the some-timers, and I've got a whole training on that. But at the top, we want hungry. We want people that are staying plugged in, that stay connected to you, that stay connected to their team, that stay connected and working with their own business. Do we want somebody who has experience? So there's two schools of thought with this. Sometimes it's great to have somebody with experience because you don't have to train them. Other times it's great to have somebody with no experience because you get to train them. And so there's two schools of thought on whether you want somebody who's necessarily had experience or not. Me personally, I would want to find a little bit of both. When you're talking about, 10 people, maybe we find 5 people who have been in the direct sales industry and really kind of been there, done that, and we find 5 people who haven't. When I was recruiting my team, and of course that's at a consultant level, I preferred to have people with no experience, because I wanted to train them the right way from the very first day. And I was like, I have a system. I know what works. It's worked for me. It's worked for, a zillion other people. Come and let me teach you how to do it my way. So all of that to say, don't discount someone who's hungry, who doesn't have experience, because hungry is more important than experience is. Because if you have a great system, you've got a great compensation plan, you've got a great product, you have all these things, if she's hungry or he's hungry, then, they're going to learn as they go. I had kind of a joke within my team. I was in business, I want to say 11 years before I saw a home party for my own company. So I, technically I had no experience. I never, I learned as I went. I was kind of blessed with ignorance that I didn't realize you were supposed to be afraid of the phone. I had never heard that the phone weighed 600 pounds, because I'd never been around people in direct sales that told me that follow-up was a scary thing. I didn't know that you were supposed to be afraid to just randomly walk up to somebody and introduce them to your business. I was kind of blessed by that ignorance, but it came from, again, having no experience. So, there's kind of two schools of thought on that. The third thing you want to look for is someone who is dedicated. Here's the honest truth about this industry. Whether you are a brand new business or whether you are one of the original Tupperware Mary Kay, one of the original companies that have been around since the beginning of the industry, there are ups there are downs. It is a roller coaster. There are days that you are elated and you want to shout it from the rooftops how much you like it. There are other days that you wonder why you ever got into this business, what you're doing staying here. So if you are feeling those things, as an owner, makes you completely normal. As a consultant, also completely normal. So what you have to look for with these founding members and what you have to be able to say as the owner is, it's not going to be rainbows every day. It's not. And just be honest up front and say, listen, I've been with companies from their very, very fledgling beginning as they grow. And, I've always said growing pains are a real thing in business. And I have coached people through them. They are a real and sometimes very difficult and trying part of growing the business. But here's the good news. If there's pain, there's growth. And I know, that's probably not the best way to explain it, but it's true. So you want to talk to people and have that relationship and say, it's not going to be rainbows every day, but it's going to be worth it. There are going to be rainbows, but sometimes we have to, have those rain clouds accompanying it. And then also finding somebody who likes a challenge, because growing a company that is not known yet, that is your challenge. And whether you are doing it from the corporate side of it or whether you're doing it from a consultant side, the number one fundamental truth in our business, in our entire industry, is that if your business is not as busy as you want it to be, it simply means that not enough people know that you do what you do. And so that's one of the things that I train consultants, but I also tell business owners that it is a matter of getting the name out there. And you can't just rely on your consultants to do that, but you do want to find people that, want to make it a challenge to do just that. Like, how do you make us a household name? That's the challenge, and that's what really takes the company from being this big to being this big. It's now not moving. All right, there we go.
There it goes.
So we know what we're looking for, all right, and we know, whatever, but it's like, well, how do you find them? Like, where are they? How do we, and like I said, like you have to go out and find them. They don't just, it is not, if you build it, they will come, right? There is a little bit of that, but I want you to get excited about, somebody else, can you hear me?
Yeah, somebody just joined us, and would you please mute your phone? There's a whole lot of background noise, whoever that is. Thank you.
I thought they were asking a question, so I stopped it. So there is a little bit of, building so that they have somewhere to come, but get excited because it's really, I hope that you want to meet new people and you want to expand your business. And I hope that you're so passionate and fired up about your business that you want to talk to people about it and go out and seek them and find them. So it's a matter of where are they? So one of the things that is, of course, super popular is SEO and making sure that your site has all of the SEO for ground floor opportunity, business opportunity, new opportunity, all of those kinds of things. You can go to SEO mods and stuff like that and find related keywords, and then make sure that you are using those so that you show up in those search engines. Make sure that you have opportunity pages. There should be, not just one page, and look at it from an outside point of view. When you look at your website, does it draw you in? Because here's what you always have to remember. You are passionate about your business. So, nobody is going to love it as much as you do, but you want them to. And if your website is where you're directing them, then you want to make sure that is the feeling that they're getting, and that's what they're getting from it. It's kind of like, if it's not your genius, it's not your job. Right. Well, so kind of along the same concept, if it's not your bit, there's not that same emotion, so you have to draw that out. So do that on that opportunity page. Make sure that you've got the emotion that is there and drawing people in. I love that you showed that statistic on YouTube, because video is always going to do better than images for a whole host of reasons. But in today's market, video is king. I mean, you found me on YouTube.
That's right.
It just goes so much further. And don't feel like, by the way, that you have to have the perfect video. Don't feel like you have to spend a fortune on big editing software and, or hire somebody or whatever. It's actually showing that the more real you are and the more candid, because remember, when you're looking for those founding consultants, you're connecting to them. These are going to be your top people. They're going to go out and recruit the masses, so to speak. You're looking for those top people that you can build a relationship with. So you want to be that real person that they feel like they connect with. Tell your story, because the thing that I love about direct sales is every company has an amazing story. You got inspired somehow, and something has sparked that passion with you. Share that. That's a big, big deal. We live in a very emotional world, and if I can connect to you emotionally because I feel your passion and I love it, and then your product comes in, and then, oh my gosh, I can make money loving it too, that's when you really start to layer on. So don't shy away from video. All the social medias, of course, hugely, hugely popular. Like, we can't do anything without social media these days. But jump in and go for that video.
I'm sorry, Lynsey, may I just interrupt? I just want to let everybody know that sharing your story is absolutely vital to your success. Facts tell, stories sell. Our guest speaker next week is Christopher, and his name escapes me at the moment, but he's a branding expert and he's a professional storyteller. So we're going to actually talk about building your brand story next week. Perfect timing.
It does. It makes all the difference. And here's what, and I tell this to consultants too, but here's what you have to think. Like, people need to connect with you. Products you can get anywhere, and things you can buy anywhere. And even if you have something that is patented, that is yours, that is, whatever, there's other stuff out there, but people connect, and brand loyalty comes from the heart. You go back to people and you feel attached. I mean, think about, like, I referenced, like, the Budweiser commercials. When they introduced those Clydesdale horses and those little golden retriever dogs, because everybody's like, oh, and now they're like one of the biggest Super Bowl commercials. They're one of the most watched. They get the most views and whatever, because it pulls on the heart. The one they did with the dogs running after the horses and, whatever. I mean, that's that story, and that's what is selling. So yes, absolutely. Tell your story, share your story, and let that resonate. And here's the other thing too. It'll resonate with the right people. So sometimes you have to tell your story a whole bunch of times, and not everybody's going to get it, and that's fine. And that's kind of part of that qualifying and weeding out process. I think some people are going to get it. It's going to resonate with some people, and that becomes your core group. That becomes your tribe. So other places to find them are vendor events. People are good and bad about vendor events. I personally like them if you go in for the right reasons. Most vendor events, it's just to shake a hand. It is not to sell. It is not to recruit on the spot. It is not to, at Party Plant Divas, we call marketing gardening, because I say it's like planting seeds. And so vendor events are a great place to plant seeds, to get leads, and we'll talk about leads in a minute, but to connect with people and to just have some face time to show that you're a real live human being that has this really cool opportunity. And you personally, you want to shake that person's hand and say, I want you to be a part of my business. That's powerful. So I'm a big, big advocate for vendor events. Again, going in, going the right way. Facebook ads, you showed those numbers on Facebook that are staggering. Those are absolutely huge. But another one that I didn't even see it on that list, which I thought was really interesting, is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the professional playground of social media. However, it's not as actively used as any other. Like there's a lot of activity going on LinkedIn, but not when you compare it to Facebook or Instagram or even Twitter. However, LinkedIn is a fantastic place for you to meet, connect, learn about, and recruit those new people from all over the place. You can search, you can find people with certain criteria. So absolutely look at LinkedIn. I mean, you can even, it's funny because I say you can even tell a lot about a person by if they're using like the publishing software that they released last year. I'm one of those people that really wants things spelled correctly and grammar done correctly and stuff. And you can tell that from LinkedIn with how they are,
One extra thing about LinkedIn is you can join groups. So there are all sorts of affiliation groups. So people who like work from home, people who love party plan, people who love candles, people who love children, people who love dogs and cats, all kinds of groups that are affiliate groups that you can become a member of and have direct access to those members and plant those seeds.
And build that relationship. One of the things with like marketing and growing from a consultant's point of view is I say that it's good to have something in common first. So if you have a common passion, if you have a common interest, then you can build the relationship based on that first, and then it grows into business. I have a question over here. Donna says, how do you make sure your ad is not in a violation of Facebook policy? So Facebook has a pretty extensive terms of service, but they also have where you can submit the ads for, like, to make sure ahead of time. I don't know. I would just read their terms of service. I know when you do their like, you can boost just about anything, but I know when you actually do in their ads, they go through a process before they approve it.
They'll approve it. They'll review it and thumbs up or thumbs down. They won't give you any feedback.
Yeah, it's just a yes or no. It's not a I suggest you do this.
Right.
They aren't that, but I'm sure they're busy. So that's probably why we don't get a lot of feedback. But their terms of service, the one thing that I do like about it, even though it's extensive and a little difficult to get through, it is certainly thorough. They're very thorough. So, all right. So now I'm going to talk like directly to you guys, because here's the thing: is how can you make that happen? You are the face of the company. The owners, you're it. Especially when you're trying to get those first few people to them. You're going to be it. So what do you need to do? How do you get yourself out there? You want to be the face of the company. And here's the thing, like table insecurities. Like, I worked with one company and the guy was like, I don't want to be the face. I need somebody to be the face. And he hired me to be the face. And I said, they're not going to love me the way they're going to love you. This is your baby. This is your dream. This is your passion. This is your story. So be the face, because I can never replicate, nobody you hire can ever replicate that authenticity that is your drive and your passion for your business. So be willing in the beginning. Now, there's a such thing as professional distance, and we're also talking about those first few people here that you really want to be able to say, listen, we need to grow this. I want to be here for you, and I want to teach you, to train you how to grow this, and let's all become gazillionaires, okay? So be the face and be a leader. Be somebody that people want to follow. There's a big, big difference between leaders and managers. And if you ask a group of people what the difference is, you'll get some pretty candid answers. I asked my community, just a blanket question: what is the difference between a leader and a manager? And leadership is emotion, okay? Management is like, So, be that leader. Be somebody that somebody wants to follow. It's okay to be transparent when you are, because again, that's part of authenticity. But make sure you're always, staying I just got a weird noise.
It's
Nothing
okay.
changed.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know the software, so I'm like, something's beeping. But, be that leader. Make sure that you are positive, that you are encouraging, that you are there. Think of who you would need if you were in their shoes. So if you were a founding member of a brand new direct sales company, what is it that you think you would need? That is what you need to be able to offer. Create a community. So here's something that is really super huge in this industry, and that is community and family and sisterhood. The community that I have built, we focus big time on that family aspect and that community aspect. We are pack animals. Humans, we do things in groups. Even though that we have some people that are, the lone wolves and whatever, it is shown that we do better in groups. Even if it's pairs, we do better with other people around. We were not designed to be loners. So you need to create that community. People react better. People work together better when they feel like they are a part of something that is bigger than themselves. So they want to be a part of that system. The other thing is to know what their goals are. And that's huge. So
excuse me, Lynsey.
Yes.
Can we step back just 1 second? How do you build community? What does that look like?
So I think it's encouraging togetherness. So it is making sure that, if there is a conflict, that it is taken care of quickly, that everyone knows each other. So if you have, if you have a Facebook group and you encourage collaboration, you say things like, hey guys, we have this new product we're thinking about offering. What do you think? What should we call it? Like, those type of things where people feel like they're a part, and encouraging them to also help one another. There's not the rat race of corporate America pits people against each other, and that just doesn't work in this industry. I think what I've loved about this industry for so long is that this is about the only place that you're rewarded for helping others. Like there's nobody's going to take your job. You're in it. You're fine. And if they do take your job, you're going to make more money. So it's okay anyway. But, in this industry, can you just imagine for a moment what the world would be like if every job you got paid more, the more helpful you were to help other people achieve their goals? I mean, I can't even wrap my brain around how different the world would be. So, encouraging that. I call my community my divas, and they love that. And I see it on social media where they're like, I'm a diva, whatever. And they love, again, that kind of sisterhood community thing. And we call each other that. I say, hey, diva, whatever, when I'm talking to them in emails, so you can really kind of create that encourage them all to love one another. Here's the thing, there's always going to be conflict. I joke you can't get that many women in a room and not have something go wrong, but for the most part, women we can do this. We can get along and really support one another. But focus on that. And here's the thing too, set that expectation early. This is how we do. This is how we're going to do it. We're going to be this family. We're going to be this sisterhood and brotherhood, and whatever. This is how we do it. Set that expectation early.
That's all part of creating the corporate culture, right?
Right.
You want to build a culture of cooperation and support and feeling safe, feeling that if you have an idea and you can express it without being ridiculed, or you can try new things, or you can do role plays with each other. One person be the customer, the other person be the consultant. You're trying to recruit them, and you can feel safe doing those kinds of risky behaviors.
Right. I do that all the time, especially with hostess coaching. That's the best way to learn how to hostess coach. So the next point is another big one too, though, is to know what their goals are. So, when we talked in the beginning about having somebody who was hungry, not everybody gets in this business to be $1 million director. And that's fine. Like I said, we need the hobbyists, we need the sometimers, we need the part-timers, we need the person that's going to do one vendor event a month and call it a business and whatever. We need all those people because they make the mosaic that is a successful direct sales company. but you need to know where especially your founding people are, because for the most part, you want your founding people to want $1 Million Club. You want them to want to be selling $1 million a year. But you need to know that, because here's the thing. If your first 5 people are just hobbyists, they just think that concept is cool, you can really wear yourself out trying to make them want more. And everybody has a place. And this is something that I train on too. Like, every great hostess would not be a great consultant. I'll tell you, I am a fantastic consultant. I am a fantastic leader. I am a terrible host. So you have to know what people's strengths are, what their weaknesses are, where they want to go, what their goals are, and then align that with yours. If the first 10 people that you hire are hobbyists, maybe they're not your founding people. Maybe they're not quite what you need to get that snowball rolling down the hill. Continue to look, continue to find them, because you want those people that want to be at the top. Equip your founders with tools that they need. That's super, super, super important. I guess all these are important. I'm going to say that on everything. But making sure that they have the tools that they need, that they have the training, that they have resources. Do they have, again, that opportunity website or page within your site that really draws people in? Do they have a video they can share? Do they have images that they can share that has your branding, and that kind of thing on social media that is okay, it's approved by you? Those types of things. Make sure they have those tools. I'm going to give you one at the end of the call, but make sure that they have those things that they need. And then, especially at the top, be consistent and trustworthy. That is, it's a say what you mean and mean what you say. That's going to be huge. You are building trust from especially those beginning people. You're building trust with them that is going to go on. That's that corporate culture that's going to continue going on and continue to filter down. So you want to make sure that you've got consistency within your business as best as you can. I mean, some of it's a little bit chaotic in the beginning, and people are going to understand. That's why you want to have that relationship, so that you remember this isn't rainbows every day. We're not expecting rainbows. It's run by those pesky things we call humans. So, not everything is going to be perfect, and that's okay, but build that relationship, work on consistency, and work on being trustworthy. And another fundamental truth that you'll need to know for the rest of your time in direct sales and leadership: activities that are rewarded are repeated. And that's one of my favorite things. You cannot overpraise people. You cannot overtell them they're fabulous. You cannot, if they made a phone call, one phone call, celebrate it. If they booked one party, celebrate it. If they recruited one person, celebrate it. Like, whatever it is, celebrate it, reward it, because that's what instills us to do things again and again.
And that's part of a fast start program on when you look at the compensation side of things. You want them to be able to achieve success early on and reward that success right away, so they keep on engaging in those same activities.
Right. Yeah. So the recruiting process is a sales process, and you probably have seen this, but this is just kind of a refresher course. The very first thing is developing the relationship. So we find the people, we plant the seeds, we have the things in common, we're talking to them, we're talking about the opportunity. Then you want to find out what they want. What do they need? So is this somebody who, wants to put themselves through college? Maybe they have a child going through college. Maybe they need to buy a new house. Maybe they have a baby on the way. Maybe they've just gotten out of school and they don't know what to do next. Figure out where they are in their life. This creating or identifying the need and finding how does your business, your opportunity, your product, your passion, your mission fit with them. The next thing, there's going to be objections. That's part of it. You have to overcome those, and you have to overcome those in a way that is authentic and is integrity is the word? I think it is. But has, the passion of your business, but what you stand for. Don't make stuff up on the fly because you're trying to overcome an objection. Be real. And if you say, you know what, I haven't heard that objection before, that's a good one, we should work that out. Be willing to be candid with that. Again, you're human. If I had somebody who said to me, that's a good one, I don't know, I need to figure that out, I'm going to follow in love with your ability to say, I don't know sometimes. Because sometimes, you know, there are a lot of people out there that feel like they have to have the perfect answer for everything. We don't. When you tell me, I don't know, we're going to figure this out. I mean, my very first person that I recruited, she came up to me, she goes, I think I want to do this business. I said, fantastic, because I don't know anything. You know, and she busted out laughing. She was like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I don't know anything. This is like my second party I've ever done. Let's figure it out together.
Yeah.
And we did, you know, and she said she always told that story, and she just loved that I didn't try to puff up and, you know, try to be something that I wasn't or whatever. You know, I was like, let's figure it out together. I was so excited. Create a solution. Again, you know, be like, hey, and always, if you don't know the answer, be like, I'll find out though. I don't know the answer, but I'm going to find someone who does. So create a solution. How can what you have to offer, whether it's your product, whether it's your hostess plan, whether it's your compensation plan, whatever, how can whatever it is that you have to offer create a solution to whatever this need is, and then close the sale. So remember, you're always in this process somewhere. From the moment that you meet them, okay, we're in this red area over here, from the moment that you meet them all the way until they sign up in that process, everybody's falling in this process somewhere. And one last thing. I can't say enough about follow-up. I'm going to tell you, and I'm trying to watch the time, I'm trying to be conscious of your time, but when I went to my very first home party, I didn't have any idea, didn't know anything, completely green. That's why I'm a green shirt, completely green, knew nothing. But the lady up there kept saying, you know, how you could be your own boss and make your own hours and whatever. And I was like, sounds perfect. I'm in. I walked into the ordering room and I said, I want to do this. This is awesome. So, I mean, I literally said, I want to do this. There was no gray area there, nothing. And she said, fantastic. I will call you this week and we will go have coffee. Boom, done. Placed my order, walked out, told everybody that I was going to sign up and be a consultant. They all said, you'll be great at this. Yeah, great. I never heard from that woman again.
Oh.
I've never heard from her again. Now, here's two things that happened, okay, because there's two lessons here. First of all, I walked around for a week wondering what was wrong with me because I didn't know enough about the direct sales industry to realize that she just wasn't good at follow-up. I mean, I was from corporate America, so if you didn't get a call back, they didn't like you. You didn't get the job. And it wasn't until a friend of mine said, hey, I thought you were signing up with that company. And I'm like, I guess I didn't get the job. She never called me. Wow. And thankfully, my friend knew direct sales. And she's like, honey, that's not how it works. You don't get the job. Like, that's not how it works. But I ended up getting online, which was hysterical back in, you know, the 90s. So not what it is today. But anyway, I got online and I found a company that was similar. And I sent a whole bunch of things out, requesting information, and I had one person call me back. And guess who got me? Now, I don't know how many tens of thousands of dollars she made, but I know that I was selling $500,000 a year there for a while. So whatever that percentage is. So you follow up. For one, I had my feelings first. You know, I was like, how come I didn't get the job? Everybody said I would be perfect for this. So, and a lot of times you don't think about the other side. You're just too scared to pick up that phone, you know? But I really kind of, you know, walked around with my feelings hurt for a while. But then again, I don't know how much money. I'd love to find her and, you know, say, I really wish you had called me because I loved her. But, here's the other thing too. The products that I received, no business card, no brochure. Like I got stuff in the mail. There was no.
She didn't call to follow up on the product purchase. Make sure you got everything okay.
Never heard from her again.
Wow.
Never heard from her again. So follow up. Learn from that. Now this is something that helped me, and this is part of something that I created called Remarkable Recruiting. But this is something that we're going to send out. David, you got that email, right?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Because this is something that kind of helped me, kind of like that last image. This was kind of my flow chart for how I contacted people. So recruit lead, whether it is a lead coming in on your opportunity website, whether you've done, we did a radio campaign once in the city before a pre-launch, and we literally sent them to a .com, and all that was on the .com was a Google document that they had to fill out. There was nothing besides that, and it was just like, boom, fill this out, and we just followed up on those leads. Or if it's somebody that you meet standing in line at Target and you strike up a conversation, like, it doesn't matter where this part starts, but this is kind of how you can kind of, fill out. So, send an email or send something in the snail mail, depending on, how you've contacted or what you've promised from that lead. So if you're standing in line at Target and you say, I'd love to have your phone number, or I can email you some information, or, whatever your contact method is, you can do that. Always, always, always try to get on the actual phone, though. Okay, whether, and I don't always feel comfortable asking for people's phone number. One thing that I like to do is I say, here's my business card, can I have yours? And that was one of my things, because if they have a business card, they're going to hand it out. And if they don't, then they're almost a little flattered because you think they would have one. I don't know how that works. But it was a great non-pressure way to ask for somebody's information without really asking for their information. But anyway, try to get on the phone, because that's where people get candid. That's where you build the relationship. That's where you can joke and be funny and again, kind of build that. Based on the conversation, then what is the next step? So, as a recruiter, whether you're talking about your first people, your 50th person, your, whatever, somewhere is going to go in, and I just realized this says, see page 10, 9, 10, whatever, you guys don't have that, but you have to know where we're going. So there's like the not right now scenario, which means that they're interested, they're vested, but they're just not, it's not always going to be the right season for people, and that's okay. That's where follow-up comes in. The next thing may be a kickoff party. It may be getting them information. Maybe we can get them some product in hand, or something that they can try, something that is tangible that they can have. If they're local, offer to do a party. Say, listen, why don't you see what it's really like? Why don't we actually, do something live and see how your friends are receptive to it? And then, the other thing could be, if you're on, you're on the phone. So how about we have coffee? That's where it becomes, let me have coffee. Let me show you this product. Let me, and then you kind of get an opportunity. So based on the conversation, that's where it kind of, falls into one of those three buckets, so that you know kind of where to go from there. I think that's my last slide. I tried to keep it simple, and I kept all that time. We're almost out of time anyway. So does anybody have any questions, any thoughts, anything?
Well, I do.
Okay.
I want to go back to some of the earlier information, and you said something about when you're recruiting, especially your founders, that it's important to qualify them. What does that mean?
It's finding the people that have those attributes. And there is this common misconception in our industry that everybody with a pulse is a prospect. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what I did. My computer has a mind of its own today. Okay. That's just not the case. If you feel that everybody with a pulse is a prospect, you end up with a whole lot of no's, because people, it's different times in their life that they're ready for this. It's different goals in life, and that's how you find the people that are suited, especially for these top positions. If they want to come on as a consultant and hang out and be a hobbyist and all that kind of stuff, great. That's not what you're looking for. You need those top people that are really going to make this go. So qualifying and making sure that they are hungry and that they want it and are dedicated to even the days that aren't going to be super fun.
Great. Thank you.
I know that we're about to hit our hour. So.
Okay, I have just
a long
one
time to keep people interested, and that was a lot of information we just threw out. There was a study done that said that the average adult attention span is 30 minutes. I joke that for me, that's probably being pretty generous.
Well, Lynsey, thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge and expertise with me and with friends of Easy Party Plan. Next week, it's Christopher Smith from the Campfire Effect. He's going to meet with us for an hour next week and talk about developing your brand story. And that will go hand in hand with some of the information that you just gave us, Lynsey. So thank you very much. I don't have anything else. If there are no questions, we'll give it one more shot here.
I don't have a question. I just wanted to say thank you.
Oh, yay!
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining in.
Well, thanks for taking your time. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of this week. Join us again next week. I'll send out emails. I'll try and get it right the first time. I sent out several by mistake, so I'll get it right next time, and we'll do this again. Lynsey, thank you once again. I really appreciate this, and go enjoy some quality time with your family now. I know it's late.
Thanks for having me. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night.
Could you give me control back, please?
Yeah. There we go. Did it work?
No. Oh, there it is. I see. I didn't see it.
I love that we get to see your fur baby every time. I'm such a cat person. I love it.
Oh, we have two. There's a little story about this one. If you have a minute, I'll just share it with you. Her name is Pepper,
Yeah.
and she's my cat. She's a rescue, and she loves me to death, and she's afraid of most other people. Well, this particular scene, my son-in-law, well, first of all, I was in the hospital. I had an unexpected illness that put me flat on my back for a while. I was in the hospital for 4 nights, and this was the day I got home. The day I went into the hospital, my son-in-law, who I had met once before, came to town to stay with us to register for Arizona State University. And we didn't know him. He didn't know us. He certainly didn't know the cats. And he was a 405-pound man.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So she was terrified. And then, of course, I abandoned her for the week. She was not having a good week. She was literally hiding under the decorative pillows on the bed. That's why that look.
I love it. I love it. That's too funny.
Every picture tells a story. So.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lynsey. You mentioned it in email. Let me. I'm gonna close
Are we
this.
still recording, by the way?
Yeah.
See, we just told everybody Pepper's story.
Funny. Oh. Okay. It's just you and me. I'm going to stop the recording.